Councilmember Anderson is absent. Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Escobar is absent. Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing in a moment of silence for our military personnel, law enforcement officers, and all the civil service people who help us and protect us every day. Thank you.
Motion to accept the minutes. Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has a correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Madam President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. I have a couple things I want to address from the last meeting. First, there was a member of the public last week who spoke during the resolution portion of the meeting regarding food stamps and food assistance. I do want to let everybody know that we have a wonderful organization in town, Elijah's Promise. They do tremendous work with the community, and if anybody needs any outreach or help with anything, please contact them. Like I said, they're very committed to our community. Then there was a question about the video, why it wasn't posted, and I think Bert explained at the last minute that there was an issue with the gigabytes that has since been rectified. They did get a new program with 4 times the capacity that we had, so it should not be an issue going forward. Next, I did confirm there is no active criminal investigation against Ms. Moore. As such, there is no tracking device on her phone or on her whereabouts through the New Brunswick Police Department. Any action is predicated on such investigation, and probable cause must be established with a superior court judge for any action like that to take place. As per the photos of dumping by city employees, there was a call that ensued between Deputy Director Miller and Ms. Moore. He said he did try to assist her, but she rejected the help of the police department. And I did confirm that there was in fact a city truck dumping material on May 13th. That material was straw bales from the Red Barn Hill, and it was put there to, I guess, cover the ground for actual illegally dumped materials once that was cleaned up. Then Mr. Cradwell had some comments. There were 2 murders in 2022. The suspect from the homicide on April 18th was identified and criminally charged with murder. The NBPD Major Crimes Unit is actively working with other agencies tracking this individual to bring him to justice if he returns to the United States. Rutgers no longer utilizes the Nixle system. You can subscribe to their new system, which is RAVE, through their website. Requests for a police matter should be addressed through email to the department. And finally, while Ms. Richardson has a right to address the council, the matter is now being handled by a third-party attorney investigation. The city attorneys, the administration, and the council will no longer comment on that issue until a determination has been made from that investigation. Next, we move on to public hearings.
Madam Council President, we have liquor license matters on this evening under D. If you would so permit, I'll start.
Please.
Okay. As is usual in the case with the renewal of liquor licenses with special conditions, we are required under law to have a public hearing relative to the reimposition of conditions on a liquor license at the time of renewal. 2 matters on for tonight, first of which is liquor license number 1214-33-079-008, Rhythm Hospitality Group LLC, trading as Social Room Bar. Last year, at the time of liquor license renewal, there were conditions imposed as follows. The licensee shall limit its maximum occupancy for the licensed premises to a total of 399 persons. The licensee will cease the practice of conducting teen nights or 18 to enter, 21 to drink events. The licensee shall comply with all New Jersey state statutes, New Jersey ABC regulations, and local City of New Brunswick ordinances regarding advertisements and promotions relative to events at the licensed premises. The licensee acknowledges that the New Brunswick Police Department and/or the New Brunswick Fire Department are permitted to and will conduct periodic inspections of the licensed premises at the respective department's sole discretion, and the licensee shall comply with all such requests. The licensee shall not allow, permit, and/or suffer in and about the licensed premises the consumption of alcoholic beverages by persons under the legal age to consume alcoholic beverages. And lastly, the conditions placed upon the licensee shall continue at the annual renewal of same, and the licensee hereby consents to and agrees to the within conditions, subject to modification and/or removal of part or all by the City Council of the City of New Brunswick in its sole discretion. I can report to the council that I have received no objection to the reimposition of the special condition by the licensee. In fact, I don't believe there's a representative of the licensee present in the chamber here this evening. However, as is required, if anyone from the public, and should the council president want to open it up, want to comment about the special conditions with this license only, now would be the appropriate time.
If any member of the public would like to speak on this application only, please step forward. State your name, spell your last name for the record. Seeing none.
Make a motion, we approve with the continuation.
Well, Councilmember Eden, we're not ready to actually renew this license yet.
Okay.
I would just ask that you close the hearing and that at the time, as deemed by the city clerk, that the license is ready for renewal, that when it is renewed, these special conditions will be in place again.
Okay, I make a motion, we close the hearing.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Sephora Ludwig.
Yes. Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, the second one.
Thank you. The second hearing we have on this evening is with respect to license number 1214-33-028-006, Kelly's Corner, Inc., trading as Kelly's Corner. At the time of renewal for the last license term, the following special conditions were imposed, and we are seeking the reimposition of same. A licensee shall not enter the premises, alter the premises from the layout shown in the sketch plan previously furnished by the licensee and approved by Council Resolution R-061306 and on file with the city clerk without first obtaining the further approval of council. 2, there shall be no live music or live entertainment, provided that this shall not preclude playing of the jukebox or television set. And 3, the above license is granted subject to the compliance with Ordinance O-02-9609 as amended relative to educational requirements for managers. I can also report to the council that I believe the licensee is in support of the reimposition of the special conditions. I do not believe a representative of the licensee is present here in the council chamber this evening. But at this time, you could open it up to the public if anyone wanted to comment about these special conditions with respect to this specific license, and now would be the time to do so.
I'll now open it up to the public if anybody would like to comment on this. Seeing none.
Move to close?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Sephora Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have the New Brunswick City Market 2022 budget. First, we have a resolution to read the city market budget by title.
Council President, I have a resolution regarding the reading of the budget by title only. Resolution R-062200A by the Municipal Council. Whereas NJSA 40:56-84 provides that the 2022 New Brunswick City Market Budget, Inc. shall be advertised in full, shall be read in full at the public hearing, or that it may be read by its title only if, at least 1 week prior to the date of the hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget as advertised, A, shall be posted in the public place where public notices are customarily posted in the principal building, and B, copies are made available to each person requesting same during said and in the public hearing. Now therefore be it resolved by the New Brunswick City Council that it is hereby declared that the conditions of NJSA 40:56-84, 1A and 1B have been met, and therefore the New Brunswick City Market Inc. budget for 2022 shall be read by title only. Be it further resolved that the certified copies of this resolution shall be sent by the city clerk to the following: the city administrator and New Brunswick City Market.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak on this resolution only, which is on the title? Seeing none, and now I can open it up for a general public hearing. Oh, we have to adopt it.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Now I'll open up the floor to the public for comment on the budget. One time up for 5 minutes only, if you'd like to approach.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. Actually, due to where, maybe I didn't hear the whole thing, Danielle Moore, Somerset Street, due to where, is this the city market budget due to where the money that the city receives every year? Like in July, is this what we're talking about?
This is the money that the city market uses to budget all of the programming that they do downtown. Part of it does entail tax dollars from that zone.
Well, one thing I surely would like to hope to see within the this budget, I'm not sure, but believe me, as a safety hazard, especially due to where hurricane season is going to be very bad, due to where, please, I will say, please start taking care of some of your trees in the neighborhood, due to where, I mean, some of these streets you can't even walk up and down, especially if you're tall, how it's very dangerous. But I'm going to ask that this tree be removed from in front of my house, but you have too many dead trees. And like I said, with some of these streets where, wow, with you low on employees, please come on, start hiring workers, due to where what? You can't even keep the parks clean. Due to a while for you to make an excuse to say that they were just dumping hay down there. Well, what? That grass hasn't been cleaned down there, and God bless all the people who did volunteer to clean down there. But yeah, please, like I said, why do you keep making excuses due to where that was the city that was dumping down there, where I'm not going to name any employees, Mr. Tom Valently, but yes, due to where how they said, yes, this is our pile, and that was not their
Ms.
pile.
Moore, please address the council and go back to the city
Well, like I
budget.
said, please, one thing that's urging me, and like I said, you know, I'm a person with special vision. I'm telling you, please, I say it's time for the city to take this seriously, to go around and through the neighborhood of New Brunswick and start trimming your trees. And be prepared for hurricane season, due to where, PSE&G has alerted already, due to what COVID-19 cases rising, they're short on staff. How many people will be out power? Please take a walk around the neighborhood to see, like I said, some of these places, wow, do I really have to take pictures of every tree, due to where you can't even walk through the walkway without ducking that down to get to certain areas. So please, I hope you do look into that. And like I said, due to where hiring more staff, like I said, with the parks and all, how you blamed what? Last year that was Pittman Park. Ooh, you couldn't keep the grass cut because of the homeless. Homeless haven't been over there the past 6 months. How high is the grass over there now? How high is the grass down at Boyd Park now? Please, for a budget due to where you have the money, I think it's time that you start hiring more workers to help maintain our city. I just called the city. I said, oh, maybe this would be a lovely job for me, something I can handle, due to where I see that you hired one of our crossing guards. I'm not going to enter his name, due to where he has a 4-hour shift, due to where walking up and down the street cleaning up the trash. I said, wow, please do let me know if you're hiring. That's something that I can handle, managing with walking and with my basketball. But like I said, come on, New Brunswick is too filthy. Please, and like I said, the rats that I'm seeing broad daylight, why do I really have to take pictures to prove everything? Everything I just showed animal control, all the rat burrows over there, due to it with the construction going on, the garbage. Please, that's one thing I surely will speak, and like I said, I hope you take me seriously when I say this year it's gonna be worse than last year, and I already proved why with that river down there. I hope you really do take it seriously. We'll start maintaining New Brunswick to be prepared for hurricane season this year. It's been very windy already. How many trees been down and all, flooding going on? What, that river has flooded 4 times already. We haven't even had a major storm. But like I said, why should I have to really prove every point to you? If you were people that really had a good heart and concern, wow, you would just investigate it yourself. I wouldn't even have to prove. But like I said, I hope you do take it seriously, due to where, come on, start maintaining your trees. Get ready for hurricane season, because it's not going to be good this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. Does any other member of the public? I want to remind you, this is about the city market budget only. Please.
Yes, I
And please,
understand that.
I was letting everyone know. Please state your name.
Yes.
Your last name and give your address.
Lilia Fernandez, hello again, FERNANDEC, 11 Potter Drive. So, first I want to comment on just how completely opaque, inscrutable, and incomprehensible these sessions are, and how they appear to really be unintelligible for the public, with the rattling off of numbers and letters that are completely meaningless unless you're showing us on a PowerPoint or something what you're talking about. However, luckily, I can do basic math and I am literate, and I can see that this budget proposal for New Brunswick City Market, and I do have some questions. On the program expenses, marketing and promotions, I see that last year, the city spent $227,000. This year, the city is proposing to spend $254,000. I'm wondering why there's such a significant increase to more than $250,000, given that we've been in a pandemic, that we haven't been able to be out, and people haven't been participating and engaging in economic activity the way we were doing in pre-pandemic days. So can someone explain that? And secondly, what exactly does that $250,000 go to pay for?
Well, first, it's due to the pandemic why there was an increase in the budget this year, because there was not as much programming during the pandemic as there will in this year's budget. I'm going to ask a member from the city market if they wouldn't mind speaking about the programs that are involved in that. Is anyone here? Thank you. Hello, Pam.
Pam Stefanik, Executive Director for New Brunswick City Center, City Market. So what we do is we market outside the local area to try to drive traffic to dine outdoors, participate in our events. We're bringing back more events this year in person. We're going to have a car show. We're going to have game watches where we bring TV trucks down on the street to bring people in for away home games for Rutgers. We are planning on a sculpture exhibition and a lot of other marketing objectives that we do have.
And so all of that will cost $250,000, marketing and promoting
Yes,
that?
it also includes our events. So we have an Oktoberfest, we have a Winter Wonderland, a tree lighting, a harvest festival. So yes, between the advertising and the marketing, the social media promotions, paid advertising that we do, we also do advertising with Rutgers and magazines. So the print ads are pretty expensive.
Okay, thank you. My second question is about the administrative expenses listed here, the administrative salary benefits / salary benefits taxes. So last, in 2021, you listed $190,000, almost $191,000 for administrative salary and benefits and taxes. I see that for 2022, that number has been increased by $10,000 to $200,000. I assume that's cost of living raise or for whoever this administrator is, and their salary benefits, or administrators, their salary benefits and taxes. And my question is, are city workers, such as the sanitation workers, getting an equivalent salary increase between fiscal year 21 and 22?
That's separate from the city market budget that we're discussing right now.
It's related to this, however, to this. On what basis then, can you tell me, on what basis is this increase made? Since we can't discuss the sanitation workers.
That was made based on a vote from the city market board of directors.
All right, those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Brittany Richardson, Livingston Avenue, RICHARDSON, and I would like to answer to that question. I think it's awesome that you guys are trying to do stuff with Brunswick and bring more traffic through. No problem here, but what part of that budget do we get to clean it up? Because we're already doing enough cleaning with it being blocked off. We went from dumping cans to dragging cans down the street. The businesses are putting their garbage into the city cans that are for the people to just throw stuff out. They're putting their garbage in the cans. I have plenty of pictures. And do we get a portion of that to clean it up?
There is a shared piece of the budget for the Clean Teams community program that does help keep the streets clean.
So
But as far as salaries go to our employees, this is the city market budget only.
So we're not gonna get an extra check or something for cleaning up something to make the city more fun, I guess?
I don't believe there's any extra
Right.
check. These are programs that have been going on for a
So
long time.
we can just leave the garbage? Or am I gonna get another email from somebody saying that we're not allowed to strike? You guys don't follow rules, so why should we? It's gonna be a double day of garbage out there tomorrow too, because we didn't pick up the garbage on Monday.
Right.
So it's gonna be double tomorrow. So we should not pick that up, or, because I mean, that seems like a lot. I'm with it, you know, if you guys to bring in more money and more people. It's nice to see that after COVID and everything. I'm not against it, but we don't get any kind of,
Compensation.
yeah, because most of the time when we do overtime, you guys don't give us time and a half. You give us straight time. So I wonder how long that's been going on, how much money you've been stealing from the employees with that. But I just wanted to know, you know, if there's any extra budget in there for us. We don't mind cleaning it up, we just need some extra, as you know.
There is not extra, and I can't comment on any issues, and I certainly don't condone or say not to do your job. I mean, you said, do I say to do that? I wouldn't say for anybody not to do their job. And we cannot comment on an ongoing investigation that's taking place right now until we get all the facts from the third-party determinations.
Right. The investigator that's working with the city to help me.
This is for the city market budget right now.
That's what I'm talking about, the extra check that we should be getting for cleaning up behind the city market. The car shoes, the, what else is it? The markets.
Rutgers, where they
Yeah,
let out all
Rutgers,
the garbage.
off-campus. Rutgers off-campus students, we're in the middle of Project Move Out, where the off-campus students put out all their garbage. You guys have paid another company to come in and, I guess, help us clean up. You'll pay them, but you won't pay us. Now you're gonna add some sort of marketplace. You already have the city shut down in the center of the city, and the residents are getting frustrated because the garbage truck is blocking them from getting to where they need to go, because we're dragging cans from one end of the street to the other end of the street. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments.
Yes, good evening, Charles Cradaville, I live in New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. I think an important point has been raised here. The funds in the budget for cleaning the area, who do those go to? Is that through the parking authority? Are parking authority employees being paid through the city market budget to do the cleaning? And if so, why not employ the professionals who pick up garbage every day? Why the parking authority obviously is not the obvious choice here. Why?
I don't know when that was set up. Does anybody have any idea when or how? Ms. Stefan, do you know how and when this was set up that way? I think it's a
Yeah, it
museum
was
set
set up probably back in 2015. It's an interlocal agreement that we have between the parking authority and the city. And that's for the litter cleanup.
Well, I agree the litter needs to be cleaned up. I don't think it makes sense to have the parking authority do it. And I don't think it's a good enough reason to say we've been doing it for 7 years, so we're just going to keep doing it. Madam President, can you give some thought to including the Department of Public Works in this instead of having an interlocal agreement with an authority that's responsible for parking?
I couldn't give a comment on that it's a contract, they're under contract, and I don't know whether they're under negotiation or not, but I don't know all of the details of that contract right now to be able to make that assessment with you at this moment.
Okay, I just think it's an important point that's been raised. We do have professionals who are telling us that they're not getting enough work or not getting paid enough for the work they're doing, and then we have a budget going to an agency that's mission is totally different. It just doesn't seem like the best use of the city's human resources. So I would ask respectfully that the city market consider working with the professionals who make this their career, as opposed to lobbing this onto the parking authority. That's all.
Thank you. Does anyone else? Seeing none?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Sikora Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have ordinances on second reading. One, an ordinance to approve a long-term tax exemption and financial agreement between the City of New Brunswick and Rtfnb Urban Renewal LLC for the Seer site, Block 707.01, lots 35.14, and Block 710, lots 7.02, 7.03, and 7.04. At this time, I'll open it up to the public for comment. 5 minutes only, one time up. Please step forward.
Hello again. Do you need me to repeat my name?
Yes, please.
Lilia Fernandez, Fernandez. So I notice here that in the ordinance, Section 1, Paragraph E, it states the City Council of the City of New Brunswick has determined that the development of the project will result in the provision of new housing and high-quality jobs that will benefit the city and its residents when compared to the cost of the tax abatement. And that the abatement approved herein is essential to the project, which would not be feasible without the tax abatement approved by this ordinance. So my question is regarding these high-quality jobs. What kinds of jobs are we talking about? What is the average salary or pay for these positions? And will they be guaranteed to New Brunswick residents? Since it is New Brunswick residents who are sacrificing the tax monies that they would be getting from a developer under a different kind of agreement in order to bring this supposedly very highly desirable new housing.
I don't believe there's any guaranteed employment for members of the city. I'm going to ask Mr. Dominguez if you'd like to speak a little bit about this abatement in general, to just explain pieces of the jobs and how you see this unfolding as a benefit to the city.
Certainly. Would you like me to do this now, or would you like to wait for after the questions?
Well, I thought maybe you could directly answer.
Well, I can answer this question specifically right now.
We'll take my time, right?
Please stand up. If you would like an answer, it does go into your time. If not, then we will.
Wow, come on.
Unbelievable.
Council President, if I may answer, this project will create several well-paying construction jobs for several years as it's being constructed. I believe that the developer may or may not be agreeing to some portion of it being developed with union labor, which would result in significant pay for those workers on the project. It's impossible to figure out where those jobs are going to come from, just that they will be well-paying jobs for the construction and labor of the site.
Why isn't the city requiring that those jobs go to New Brunswick residents?
Please address the council.
Okay.
It's not part of this agreement.
Why isn't it? Why isn't there a requirement that those good-paying union jobs go to city residents when we know that city residents have been experiencing severe economic distress for the last several years due to the pandemic and other circumstances?
This is a private developer, and he does have the right to, or the people that will be moving in there in those businesses have a right to hire the people that they want.
that in your negotiations with these developers, just like all the other folks who've built all these nice fancy high-rises all over downtown, that they hire locally.
Nothing precludes any member of our community from going and applying for a job at any one of these places.
That's not the point. That is not the point, and you know that. The point is that you all are in a position of power here. You all are the ones negotiating these deals to, please, Boss Cahill or the DevCo, whoever, the powers that be, and you are not doing anything to support the people of New Brunswick, who, as we know, are struggling to pay rent, have been out of work, are struggling with very low wages in many of these positions. What kinds of high-quality jobs, I'd like to know also, in addition to the construction jobs, which are temporary, what other kinds of high-quality jobs will this development produce? The clerks at the grocery store? The custodians who will be cleaning these buildings? And how much will they be getting paid? Those are things that are within this body's control, within the city officials' control, that could be negotiated to do better by your constituents, by the people of New Brunswick. There's no response? We don't know what kind of jobs they're going to produce.
Thank you for your comments. Can I have the next speaker, please?
So you just used up my time until it ran out and gave no response. That's not satisfactory.
Your time has expired.
That is not satisfactory.
Next, please.
Good evening. Angela Lugo, Lugo, 6 Cotter Drive. Last week, we had representatives from the development company to talk to a group of the neighbors about the burn. So we were having a good discussion on that. When we asked about the affordable housing, however, they said that the city never required them to think of putting affordable housing within the units. That's one thing. The second concern I have, because remember, we're going to have 30 years, they're not paying taxes. So what's the city getting at? And while I understand, and it was hammered to me, that this is a private development and private business, but we are giving away 30 years of taxes. And the question is, what is the city getting out of it? The citizens who live here. And so we don't have the affordable housing. One of the concerns, and they said they looked into it, but you would assume they would have thought of this before. There's only 3 sewer systems there with 700 people.
New people.
Or units that are going to be put there. That's going to be a stress on those sewers, and that's going to impact me, because one of those sewers runs right next to my property. So why isn't that infrastructure taken care of? We got to get something out of these 30 years, all right? So it's a question that I think this project has been done. Yeah, it's good for the city, but is it good for the citizens of the city? And then, this is something nobody ever answered correctly, or at least that I could understand. Are these tax exemptions going to be funneled or shared with those who are buying the townhouses? Are they going to be getting part of the tax exemption? So how is the city then benefiting? Because you're going to have reduced taxes from those living there. Again, it's what's the city getting out of it?
Well, there is the pilot payment that they get every year, so it's not like they're not paying anything. The initial payment starts at 1.7, and there are increases throughout the 30 years of the project. The townhomes will be part of that. It was just impossible to include that figure because when they're sold at market rate, we don't know what that market rate is going to be at this time. As far as sewer upgrades, I would ask, I haven't seen a site plan for this. I don't know if it's been any part of the talks Any information about that?
As far as the sewer stuff, no, not at this time, but we're reviewing it, and as any project, if the sewers are needed to be upgraded, they would be required, just like any water or sewer infrastructure on any project.
It didn't seem from talking to them, it didn't seem like there was gonna be a change from the three major. Because we did bring it up. Because now with the restaurants, we get flooding from the sewers sometimes, and stench. And that's just from the restaurants. Adding all these residency, plus a supermarket, and maybe, a Starbucks. It's a concern.
The infrastructure will be assessed by the city, and, determinations will be made from that point moving forward as to if anything needs to be upgraded.
So the question is, okay, that's good. I'm glad that there's not a final determination yet on that. But how come the city didn't require affordable housing? Because the developers that came to us, and that was the question we asked, they said the city never required it.
It's not a requirement in this type of redevelopment area. What transpired before it came to us, I'm not sure. And again, Mr. Dominguez, do you have any comment on that?
I do not.
Thank you.
Yeah, because they frankly told us all these units, apartments, townhouses, everything, is for upper middle class people, which leaves most of us out. I mean, maybe 15, 20 years ago, with what I'm making now, I would have been upper. Now I'm like middle.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, please.
Hi, yes, Daniel Moore. I would like to continue with what Mrs. Lugo was just speaking on regards as far as the sewer. Due to where these are townhouses, one thing, and you're saying tax exemption, due to where my question is due to where I know a situation with a lot of the townhouses, is this are these residents, are they going to be responsible due to where, if I say it the correct way, due to where is this company, whoever this builder is for this site, going to be responsible for the sewage backup, water main breaks, due to where I've seen, okay, people paying their taxes, and due to where a lot of the townhouses, they have water main breaks where the city said that they're not going to fix them, that's regards to the owner of the townhouses. So please, can you explain that to me? Like I said, due to where, are they going to be responsible for that, or is the city going to be responsible for that?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Council President. With regard to the entire project site, townhomes and the apartments and whatnot, the developer or its assignees, whatever entity, the HOA, et cetera, for the townhomes, they will be responsible for at least the duration of the pilot at their own expense, maintenance of the roads, sewer, water, trash, recycling, snow removal, lighting, and other infrastructure at their sole expense.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you cleared that out when we do to where, like I said, I know quite a few people last year got angry with the city due to where, like I said, with water main breaks, how they had to sit with no water for 2 weeks, and due to where, that's another thing why I say it's not good with some of these complexes, due to where you don't really speak up like what you said. Okay, if I'm not going to say exactly, $16.50 for rent for a studio. Does that include what, the maintenance fee? Well, how every person is going to have to pay what? Just like was said, due to where they're responsible, but that's the tenants who stay there, where what you have to pay about extra $400 a month for maintenance fee. So like I said, due to where this is going to be a situation, it's not going to be affordable, as you say, due to where, like I said, when you stay in a townhouse, you have other payments you have to make along with your mortgage or whatever. But like I said, as far as sewage, due to where, and in an area over that, especially like I said, connected to with that water, a lot with the Rtfnb River, and it has a lot to do with the sewage, due to where the Rtfnb River is high, the sewage backs up. And due to where now, one thing I just realized, I was over the Feasters Park the other day, where they were digging up over there. Due to where I know I talked with Mr. Tom Valenti about how it can rain whenever that river is high, how the water, after 3 days, 90 degrees heat, how the water still comes over there. Wow, just with them digging up over there, wow, how it smells with so much sewage over there. You couldn't even really stand over there yesterday, so much sewer gas. So I really think you ought to stop, investigate things before you really make a choice on doing a lot of things, because honestly, the things that I see that the council, just voting yes, and not even investigating on things, wow, the backfire that turns back around due to where wow, just because you didn't invest anything. So I just hope you stop saying yes on everything before, like I said, with Ms. Lugo, please, if you don't have the plan for what the sewer line is, due to where that's a major situation, due to where Rutgers Village just went through it. What you said last month? Due to where, yes, like I said, it has a lot to do, like I said, with these streams, the ground and all, but like I said, come on, stop saying yes before you have the full word on a project to be done. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda Stork, 12 Park Boulevard. Good evening. I have some of the same concerns that have been spoken about here. And I've been saying from the beginning that there needed to be an affordable housing component. Clearly, that's the need of the residents of the city. And my understanding is, I was not at that meeting with the developer, but my understanding is that they like to do affordable units. They said that's their best, that's their best rate of, payment on time and they just.
Renters.
Yeah, the renters, for the affordable units. That, they would have loved to do it, but that's not what the city wants. So that's concerning, because that's certainly what I've been hearing that the city wants. It's, definitely a problem that people can't find decent, affordable places to rent in our city, and they wind up moving out of our city in droves. So that is one concern, and another concern is obviously the abatement, which I've also spoken on repeatedly. It is not fair to bypass the school system, and that's exactly what is happening here. You're saying, but the city will benefit because they'll get in lieu of tax payments. But the school system won't get any. So either none of these people are going to have any children. I was told it also isn't going to be college students, and it's not going to be anybody with kids. So is this a whole nother yuppie complex? Really? Are that many yuppies to go around? I don't get it. And even if there are no school-age children, that's part of building a tax base for our children, for our future in this city. It's not fair to bypass. And other cities who do the tax abatements, not always 30 years, but even a 15-year, what they then do in recognition of the fact that they just cheated the school system out of their share of the taxes, they turn around and make a payment to the school system, which would be a minimum, I would think, that you could do in this situation. If you're going to insist on this giveaway, at least turn around and give something to the school system to account for what they're not going to get from taxes. And as far as the job situation, absolutely that should be a stipulation. That's another example where the residents of New Brunswick are the ones paying these taxes. Or, we're still paying ours. The taxes that they won't be paying. It's not clear exactly what the in lieu of taxes. It certainly won't be helping our schools, which would be a major place we could use the help. But the other problem is that when they say, there could or could not be several construction jobs that might or might not be union jobs, and almost certainly won't be New Brunswick residents. That's just really not very convincing. And as far as the permanent jobs being, they're going to be, some of the typical entry entry-level jobs that are available anyway to people. There's nothing there to, you know, where's the initiative? Where's the initiative to say, hey, you want to build in our city, like some other cities do? They've started, we want an apprenticeship program. We want our people in those unions, if they are in fact even going to be union jobs, which didn't seem to be clear. You know, and at a minimum, they have to be New Brunswick residents. It's just not fair. It's not fair, and it's in all these different aspects that we're seeing that it's not fair. You know, the situation with, you know, with the sanitation. That's, so apparently they will be responsible for their own. I didn't exactly hear all the list of the things that they'll be taking care of. So they'll be doing their own sanitation out there? Because goodness knows, there's already too much work for the sanitation department in the city. Why can't people be hired? Obviously, have to offer more money. And while we're at it, you know, maybe compensate the people that stuck with it through COVID or came on during COVID to do frontline work. Show that appreciation with the same raise that other people are getting at City Market.
Good evening once again, Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick, New Brunswick Today. I want to start by thanking Mr. Fleming and Ms. Escobar for abstaining on this on the first reading. My first question is for Mr. Fleming, through you, Madam Chair. Mr. Fleming, why did you abstain on the first reading of this ordinance, and how do you plan to vote today?
When we get to my vote, I'll vote. I have concerns about infrastructure, traffic, and just stuff that was on the project.
Thank you for that. I do have some concerns of my own, and I'll share them. First and foremost, this is a developer who's been rejected by the New Brunswick Housing Authority. They sought the redeveloper designation, and they lost the vote. At the last meeting, Madam Chair, you stated, quote, "It's my understanding they're going back to the Housing Authority on this issue." Where did you get that information?
From listening to the meeting, when I listened to the meeting that night.
Okay, well, good thing New Brunswick Today recorded and broadcasted it. I'll note they had another meeting a week ago, and this was not on the agenda, and it wasn't brought up, and you know, they have not gotten approved. They're still rejected as of now, and there was no talk of them coming back at this most recent meeting. I really am concerned about the way this ordinance is written, and I want to draw your attention to the first part of Section D. It says, quote, "The provision of a shuttle from the project to the train station at the entity's expense." That sounds great, but there are no details, no guarantees about this. Is this going to be for the next 30 years they're going to operate the shuttle? Is it going to be 7 days a week? Is it, you know, what hours is it going to run? Who's going to be allowed to ride it? Doesn't say if it's free or costs money. This is really not, you know, this is, I think, too vague and perhaps intentionally vague to leave it up to the developer what they actually want to deliver on. And the city is in a position where you should be leveraging the maximum commitment now before the developer gets their way, and then you'll no longer have the leverage. So I do think public transit is super important for this site. We don't need a ton more cars in this area. What we need is people to walk, bike, and use public transit, and I think they can do better than this. Second, I see, quote, "space suitable for a grocery store." Notably, not a grocery store. Space suitable for a grocery store. So I'm, of course, reminded of the failed Fresh Grocer, Key Food, the miserable failure there. And I can tell you, as somebody who worked there, these were not good jobs. They were not good jobs. The store failed. They left town owing the parking authority $1 million twice, and we have no supermarket to show for it. So I'm worried that this is going to be a space suitable for a supermarket, but there's never going to be a supermarket. There's no guarantees here. Again, you have some leverage now. You should get the commitment now. Of course, we need affordable housing. I just heard that the developers were talking at this meeting about renting one-bedrooms for $2,400 a month. Can you tell me, is there a representative of the developer here today that could clarify for us, you know, what they're intending to rent these units at?
I don't believe so. Is there a representative here to speak for the company? No.
No, okay. Well, then I think really they're undeserving, having gotten rejected by the housing authority, not sending someone to you whose vote they are asking for, and not dealing with the public. I mean, I don't know about this meeting, I only learned about this recently, but I wasn't at this meeting, I didn't get to raise my concerns there, and apparently they didn't think this hearing tonight's important enough. Madam President, have you reviewed the developer's application for a long-term tax exemption?
I did read it.
Okay, so then you will know that the job creation estimate for permanent jobs lists in the 2 mixed-use buildings 14 full-time employees consisting of property managers, maintenance managers, etc., and the shuttle bus drivers. And it says it excludes the employees within the retail portion of the project, which is anticipated between 50 and 100 employees there. Retail jobs, it's an uncertain future, high turnover, low wages, not usually good jobs. The townhouse will not create any jobs. And then retail building C, assuming a grocer use, which is noteworthy, the language. They're making an assumption there will be a supermarket there, which we've heard before, and I'm concerned that they actually won't deliver that. They estimate approximately 25 employees. And then they say, maybe it'll be a standard retail use after all. Maybe it won't be a supermarket. Maybe we won't get what we were led to believe we would get. And they'd say, in that case, we're talking 10 to 25 employees. So I'm seeing, in terms of permanent jobs, by any measure, less than 200. Is that worth the tens of millions of dollars that the city would be giving up? I don't think so, and I encourage you all, please, do not vote yes on this. Please reject this. You have some leverage. Use it for the residents. Thank you.
Seeing none?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Sikora Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have an ordinance to amend the redevelopment plan for the New Brunswick scattered site redevelopment plan area in the city of New Brunswick. I'll open it up to the public. One time up, 5 minutes only. Please state your name and address.
Charlie Cradville again, New Brunswick today. Very disappointed about that last vote. I do want to, on this one, revisit the issue of the church property. This is the Promised Church of God, the corner of Saddam and Lee. And yes, the property includes a long-time vacant eyesore, but it also includes a church that, as far as I can tell, is still in operation and is, serving the community and is a nice thing about my neighborhood, and I don't want to see it go. Why do they have to be declared a redevelopment area? Why can't subdivision be done and you redevelop the thing that needs to be redeveloped, but leave the church?
Mr. Dominguez, was this an issue with the property lines in general, why it had to be included in?
So this is a scattered site redevelopment plan. It targets vacant and abandoned properties throughout the whole city. It's a plan we've had on the books since, I believe, 2018. This is an update and a refresh on the properties that are impacted. 34 Lee has been designated as an abandoned property for quite some time now legally, and the church voluntarily agreed to a sale price for the property with the city either late last year or early this year. So at this point, the city is proceeding forward with the redevelopment designation for the site and a transaction once a designated rehabilitator redeveloper is assigned to the property. But the church has voluntarily, there's no condemnation, they voluntarily agreed to sell the price to the city for its appraised value.
Thank you.
Okay, can I get that value?
Circa $380,000 for the whole lot.
Okay, and Mr. Dominguez doesn't happen to know if the church has a plan to stay in New Brunswick or if this will be the end of the church being here?
Madam President, I have no idea what the church's plans are for afterwards.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all on this one, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Danielle Moore. I just have to say, due to where I'm seeing this so frequently, that you city council members, the way you're voting, and the way you're voting, the way I see, I fought you 50% of what's going on with New Brunswick, in New Brunswick as well, due to where, like I said, wow, you never take the time to investigate something before you say yes. Due to where what, how many, and I'm gonna really speak on this, how many places you done put in for an ordinance for redevelopment plan, the same way you did with the Puerto Rican Action Board, that was May 5th of last year, and you don't tell, please, one thing, why don't you warn public that, okay, that you're putting in a redevelopment plan? Why does someone have to get a big surprise, ooh, that they have to, what, sell their property, sell their house, or be forced to leave in 30 days?
This isn't an initiation of a redevelopment plan, it's an amendment to an existing redevelopment plan that is including other properties, and people on that list, property owners, are notified of intent. It has to be done that way or it's not in the process.
So, okay, so is that with only this one, or you're saying with every ordinance that goes for a redevelopment plan, due to where, what you're saying that the people know, that the people are notified that it's being done?
Right now, we're speaking about this ordinance only, and that's what this comment period is for.
Well, okay, please, my understanding, what I'm trying to understand is the difference between this one and a lot of your other plans. Like I said, due to where, as far as with like Sanford Street, well, that's gonna be knocked out, you put down for redevelopment plan. Same thing with the Puerto Rican Action Board. And please tell me if this site is warned and you know that the people know that it's gonna be for sale, how come you never warn the other people? Due to where, same thing at the Puerto Rican Action Board, like I said, what? You put that through May 5th of 2021. Then the people come down here and say, ooh, 30 days, I don't have a place to stay. Tell me, why is this different? That due to where you're saying that it's legally, they've been notified, but wow, you haven't still notified any of the residents that, what, the whole entire Jersey Avenue is gonna be knocked down. Tell me the difference. Why did they get word and you don't warn the other people?
I can tell you the difference between the two things you're speaking about now. One is an abandoned property redevelopment.
Okay.
The other is just a redevelopment zone. And Mr. Dominguez, if
If I
you'd
may
like to
clarify.
elaborate on that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening and learning. Like I said, I listen and learn.
So the only portion where notice is done in the redevelopment process, if applicable, is during the designation of a place as an area in need of redevelopment. What's done a redevelopment study or blight study. As the city is an area in need of rehabilitation, you can place redevelopment plans on parcels, non-acquisition, non-condemnation plans, so the city can't condemn a site without any notice. You can do a plan. Tenants are not necessarily required to be noticed as part of these processes, unless it's blighted. Jersey Avenue was not blighted. These are not blighted. They are actually abandoned or vacant properties. Every single one of these properties, no one lives in them. Some of them are literally just a foundation and steps. And so under certain circumstances, there is no notification. Under others, there are. My understanding was Pratt was planning on moving out for additional space for their weatherization business, and they needed a place to park their trucks, which was no longer a fit at their headquarters, but they continue to serve New Brunswick. And as a matter of fact, we have an annual contract with them for fair housing counseling services.
Okay, but like I said, I thank you due to I listen and learn, even though that's not true with the Puerto Rican Action Board, due to where come to find out the boss of the Puerto Rican Action Board, the only reason why they moved to East Brunswick, because that's where they live. So like I said, due to where I'm getting a lot of answers back, but like I said, I thank you due to I listen and learn. I thank you for explaining the difference of why some people are warned and why someone's in. I understand this is abandoned, but like I said, out of two plans, due to where it's like you force people. Not this one, but like I said, it's sad how you force people to evacuate without any warning. Like I said, it's still May 5th of 2021. You still haven't told the house owners over there that all that to be knocked down, the Department of Public Works, Sanford Street, due to where with the car lots over there, due to where you put that in for redevelopment. What, you haven't warned the people over there? Like I said, I say what the council does, the mayor does, it's wrong. Because, like I said, come on, and you saw the hurt with the film. It takes more than 30 days to find places, and like I said, half of the stuff that goes on with this city is your fault as well.
Do I have any more speakers on this?
Yes, Lilia Fernandez again. I have a question about this redevelopment area. Does this include the site where the current replacement school for Lincoln Annex is being built?
I don't believe it does.
Council President, no,
This is an
that's not an abandoned
No,
site.
that's number 3.
This is not.
This is an abandoned property.
Okay.
Scattered site plan.
Okay. Then, other than that, I just want to say that you all deserve Academy Awards for your performances of, making a mockery of democracy here and just completely selling out the people of this town. I'm embarrassed to live in New Brunswick, honestly. I'm seriously embarrassed by what I see happening here, what goes on in the city, what this mayor does, and what you all represent and go along with, these policies. Absolutely unconscionable. Someone said last week, I don't know how you folks sleep at night. I really don't.
Exactly. Are there any more speakers on this ordinance only? Seeing none?
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have an ordinance to amend the redevelopment plan for the New Brunswick, Jersey, Sanford redevelopment plan area in the city of New Brunswick. It's now open to public comment, one time up to 5 minutes per person.
So are we talking about the same area what I was just speaking on far as this over by the Lincoln Annex School, the area with Lincoln Annex School?
This is on Jersey Avenue.
Well, excuse me, the part where the school is gonna go.
I'm sorry, I got confused when you said Lincoln Annex. I thought you were talking about the old school. This is from Cleveland.
So this is the connection to this. The same thing, what story we're talking about, due to where, now like I said, please tell me, have you warned any of them owners, any of the tenants due to where what, all of Jersey Avenue is to be knocked down from, all the way from where it's starting with the school, all the way to the Department of Public Works? Have you warned the public that this is gonna be put through for redevelopment?
These are privately owned buildings, and they have their own agreements with their tenants. It's their obligation to notify their tenants according to their lease terms. The city has no position or negotiation with lease terms between a private entity and a tenant.
So please, by what you said, by what you're just saying, so you're telling me someone from the city here notifies the owner of that building that, wow, that this is putting all for redevelopment over there on Jersey Avenue, going all the way up to the Department of Public Works?
Mr. Dominguez?
Council President, yes. Okay, so to clarify, this is just the redevelopment project from Sanford up through, I guess what some people call Rome Palong, but I guess it's near the Department of Public Works. It doesn't make it all the way over there. It does not have anything to do with any of the housing that exists near the school, just from Sanford up until maybe about a half mile up from there. Yes, just, yeah.
So wow, do I have to really bring the pictures down here to show you how many houses are, it's just not apartments over there?
Madam,
Yes.
there are 0 houses on this. There are 4 major industrial buildings, no homes. It's only on the left-hand side of Jersey Avenue. The Pratt Building, the industrial buildings that continue on from there, and some straggler buildings from there forward. There's no residential on that side of the street whatsoever.
Thank you.
Well, I see, now that I understand you, I see that you split it up due to where, I know before, the way the ordinance had went through, starting from 50 Jersey Avenue, starting from 50 Jersey Avenue where the school is to be built, and then the park and all, the park for the kids to play in, due to where that's still the people are going to be forced to leave their homes. Honestly, you can own a home, but with this mayor, like, wow, he forces you to sell it, whether you just to do a redevelopment plan, whether you want to sell your house or not. So wow, you're telling me it's legal. Say I own a home right there. Say I do not want to sell. What, can I stop you from doing the project over there?
There are, Mr. Dominguez just told you there are 0 residences in that area. There are no homes in this area.
like I said, honestly, it's very sad with you council members. Like I said, due to where I'm seeing plenty of things, you just keep saying yes on. Well, like I said, you're the part of the blame of what's going on in the public as well. Things due to where you do not investigate, and like I said, it's very sad. Due to where, please, do you really care about your community? What? All I see you doing is what? Making excuses, covering someone's rear end that you know what to help them out more than to make your community better. And I tell you, it hurts. And like I said, wow, the things that you vote on, believe me, come on. Even with the mayor, this is all about money and politicians. But like I said, 50%, you're the cause of what's going on in New Brunswick as well, due to where, what, like I said, just voting yes before you investigate. And I will set an example of what, for Handy Street and Jersey Avenue, not too far from here, what, where you turn that bar into a liquor store and a bar. What, 5 days in a row? How many incidents over there? Come on, stop voting yes on things before you investigate of what's going to be the cause of something. Think about the cause of something. And like I said, it's very sad to even look at some of you due to where, what, like I said, you're the cause of the problem in New Brunswick as well.
Do you have any other speakers on this ordinance only?
Yeah, I just have a question. Brittany Richardson, Livingston Avenue. The vacant lots that you guys are speaking of, were those grounds contaminated and now you want kids to play over there?
I don't think I don't know was there an environmental study done on this redevelopment area for contamination at this point?
The developer would have to do a remediation of the site. It's anticipated that they'll have to do it. They'll have to hire what's called an LSRP, and they'll meet state law requirements to bring the site up to standard for whatever uses that they are trying to do. And if they can't, they wouldn't be able to build those buildings. The state would not permit them.
And that is true of anybody who does development in the city with any area.
Okay.
They have to pass standards through that agency.
Sure. Is there anything that they're planning on doing about the traffic, in regards to this school and all that vacant lot they plan on building? Because you know, Department of Public Works is there, and we have a lot of vehicles that go through there.
Traffic studies would be
And then
done
there's a
at the
commercial.
time. Traffic studies would be done at the time of any type of site plan.
Yeah, because
application.
kids coming across, and then there's another company you guys let move there with tractor trailers. Between that and all of the kids crossing the street, that's not going to be pretty safe. And then we're going to probably have to get overtime, you know, that you guys don't like to pay. With all the school buses, and you know, it gets hectic around in that area now, so I'm just saying, keep that in mind.
Thank you. Does anybody else have comment on this ordinance only? Seeing none?
Councilmember Egan. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick titled Revenue and Finance, add planning and zoning board of adjustment attorney fees. I'll now open this up to the public, one time up, 5 minutes only. Please step forward if you have any comment on this. Seeing none?
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Ordinances on first reading, one, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 36, Flood Dams Prevention Regulations.
Move the ordinance setting down June 15th, 2022, same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have resolutions 1 through 28. What was pulled? 4 was pulled and 10 was pulled. If you'd like to make comment on any of the resolutions, please step forward. We have one time up for 5 minutes only. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Give me a moment. Honestly, I forgot. I marked which one that I was looking at. I know it's my time, no problem. Okay, far as with, 22, with the water main replacements, not to exceed $25,000. Is this over here on Somerset Street?
Mr. Wallace, what was the exact question? This is for engineering services, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is part of a very large water main project that we put together in 2018, and then we broke it up into smaller parcels. And since that time, costs have increased, salaries have increased with the engineering firm, so we now have to make up some of the difference as we're trying to close it out.
Okay, thank you. And then due to where I see that's Jersey Avenue between Mitchell Avenue and Van Dyke, is this basically for that new building that was just put there?
Number 23 or something?
23, yes, sorry, yes.
Mr. Valenti, do you have any comment on this?
Yes, this is to make the storm sewer connections to the existing storm sewer system that's on Van Dyke, that's proximity to Jersey Avenue. It is to service the new building.
Can you tell me what the building's gonna be? Still, everywhere people are questioning, what is the building gonna
It's a
be?
warehouse, I believe.
It's
Warehouse corner of Van Dyke. Yes. Warehouse.
Amazon?
Warehouse.
No.
Oh, no, I'm due to, I'm only concerned due to where the public has somebody posted a picture and they're asking
I don't know if
questions.
there's a tenant there that's being built as a warehouse.
Oh, okay, then like I said, I guess I just tell the public that then due to where a lot of people are concerned, what is it? Then, let's see, I did see one more. Maybe I might be done, let me see, like I said, I didn't mark a lot of my things. Then I was using my time to hold up and see if Mr. Cradwell was coming in. I don't know if he's coming back in. So we can still run my clock, run the clock to where I don't know if he's coming back in. So I still will stand here, like I said, for funny line. I will stand here just to use my 5 minutes, like I said, just to hold it, just to see if Mr. Cradwell is coming back in. So like I said, even though I don't really have any more to say, but I will.
If you don't have any comments, I'm gonna ask you to sit down.
Well, okay,
There's no reason to be out there.
I'll find something to maybe to speak on then, due to where four.
4 was pulled, I believe.
Okay, 4 you said was pulled. Okay. Well, like I said, okay, it was worth a good laugh, okay, and I guess Mr. Cradwell, he's busy right now, he's not able to do the resolutions today, but thank you.
Thank you for your comments this morning. Does anyone else have comments on the resolutions only? Please step forward, state your name. Spell your last name for the record.
William Barnett, B-A-R-N-E-T-T. About the Resolution 14, the temporary closure of George Street.
I'm sorry, what was your address, sir?
Oh, so 1 Spring Street.
Thank you.
I don't object to the closure of George Street. I think it's important for the businesses in our community, and I'd like to support them. However, I do have a problem with the volume of the noise, which, I'm a block away and 20 stories up, and I can't hear my television. It's just amazing. I don't know if it's because there's like a canyon there. So if there's something that can be done to moderate the volume coming from George Street.
I do believe it's something, after speaking with representatives from the city market today, they're aware of that. They were looking into it, and I also addressed it with the police department for more controls over the laws that we do have in those areas. And I also understand it's not, the noise that you're hearing is not specific to the street closure, it's more from certain music, correct?
That's from having a sound stage in the middle of the street, or a DJ stage in the middle of the street. I mean, this is, at their source, they're at least 10 times as loud as the city ordinance permits where you hear it. Now, of course, those are two different things, but when you start 10 times as loud, it goes awful far. So, you know, I think there ought to be some reasonable way to figure out how to moderate that.
And I believe they should be under the same guidelines as far as decibel goes with the ordinance throughout the city. So that is something that we can look into.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening once again. Charles Prattville, New Brunswick today. Just a couple of resolutions I wanted to ask about. Number 16, the top of page 4. Can somebody tell me what Judge McCloskey has ordered? And I think this has got to do with the former Inc. liquor license. What's going on there?
Is this something you would address, Ms. Zeldon, because it's a liquor license, or do you have an answer?
It could be either the law department.
I can answer that.
Thank you.
There is litigation between Mark Daniel Hospitality LLC and the owners of Darrell's, who were the original owners of the license, I believe. There was a transfer a couple of months ago that was supported by some documentation that Darrell's presented to the city. Judge McCluskey reviewed a pleading by Mark Daniel Hospitality and decided to maintain the status quo while that litigation is pending. So that prompted this action by the city.
Okay, so the city's been ordered to rescind the transfer.
Correct.
Thank you. It's unfortunate that that's mired in litigation. I know that there've been a couple of decent restaurants there, and now it's nothing. So hope they can resolve those differences soon. And then finally, the last item, 228. What specifically is being modified with this massive construction project?
This looks like barrier and lane shift. Is that correct, Mr. Valenti?
Yes, that is correct. The facade of the building has a curved overhang, if you would, in order to create a safety net that'll catch anything that may potentially fall from the structure. The traffic is going to be shifted so that both lanes of travel are still available on Somerset Street. However, the one lane of travel will be adjacent to the curb line, and the other travel lane will be further out into the middle of the street.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll just reiterate that it seems like this project is out of step with the neighborhood, and you know, generally a good idea not to let developers build buildings that hang over the public right of way. You know, this could have been avoided if a more reasonable plan were submitted and approved. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Cradwell. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment on the resolutions? Seeing none.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Do any of my councilmates have anything they'd like to address this evening?
Yes. Okay. She wants me to do it.
Oh,
Okay.
please.
No, I'm seeing it. She wanted to do it, so. All right, this June 18th will be, I'll just read the letter real quick. Greetings, the President of the Vulcan Pioneers of the Juneteenth Committee invite everyone to join us for our annual Juneteenth Parade and Heritage Festival on June 18th, 2022. This event in the past will be spectacular and involves the entire event and the New Brunswick community. The parade will begin at 11:30, starting at the intersection of George Street and Remsen Avenue, proceeding to Sanford Street, connecting to Georges Road, moving to Pine Street, and to Recreation Park. There will be floats, vehicles, walkers, even stilt walkers. You're bringing back the clowns this year, I think. Ms. Smith? The clowns? Clowns gonna be there? Oh, because you don't like it. At the Park Center stage, there will be entertainment, words from local residents, and oratorical contest that will be present and scholarship winners. Your presence will go a long way in supporting this, so just bring out the family. We pray for great weather. We've had great weather every year, with the exception of the year that I was the Grand Marshal. We had a deluge, a storm, but all the time it's been great weather out. It's a great family event, so we invite the whole community to come.
So now we'll open it up to public comment. Remember, this is 5 minutes, one time up, general public comment, not questions and answers. And please be mindful and respectful of everybody in the property forum in Down.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore, Somerset Street. First, I'm going to start off what I'm asking. I thank the tree department for taking care of a great job on 169 Jones Avenue with a tree that was in serious condition. I'm asking that this tree between 331 and 329 Street be cut down as soon as possible due to where you can see it is some type of disease due to where, and it's affecting a lot of wires with my neighbors.
What street is that again?
So 331 Somerset Street and between 329. I would give you thanks. Now, I would like to go back to say, due to where, please, you can say for the record, I don't care what you say for the record, you can't tell me that my phone is not on no tracker with New Brunswick Police Department, due to where I know it is. You do not walk with me everywhere. They're everywhere to tell me. But like I said, I'm not going to use my time. But one thing I'm going to fault you council members, like I said, what's going on in our city? How could the mayor lie and say that crime is down? Homeless is down. Due to why don't President Ludwig, Captain Deputy Miller, Mayor Kill, why don't you tell the public the truth that New Brunswick Police Department is on standby? Due to where what? To help it make it look like the crime is down. You're not taking action at things that you need to be taking action. Wow, is hit and run a crime? Wow, 3 cars in front of my house last week. Like I said, the Lord is working with me to prove a point to you, Captain Miller. Wow, you want put a picture of my nephew with no license driving in Piscataway. God bless Piscataway. But what is your officers doing with how many people driving with no license, registration, insurance? How many hit and runs have you had ever since this last meeting? You done had 15 motor vehicle crashes since this last meeting. What is New Brunswick Police Department doing? Wow, all you do is target black, and like I said, you don't care about Juneteenth, the mayor. And like I said, when you have a bunch of racist people, and I'm going to show you due to where I didn't speak to Mr. Pittman when I didn't have the paper with me, he said, wow, why no one spoke on the situation with the kids getting shot? What, here's a grant from the county, towards black violence, like black people are the only one that do violence. Please, but that's how New Brunswick Police Department, that's how they target, due to where, wow. Sure, God bless, it's good to see your officer sitting over on Remsen and Seaman Street, but wow, when are you going to see him on French and Handy? 5 days in a row. What, man got stabbed over there at the bar where you made a liquor store, right by the bar, where you made it into a liquor store, the action where you're going to put a school. Wow, since you made that liquor store there, you approved, you council members. Wow, man got stabbed there one day. The day before, the man got hit by a car, he's in a coma, the car hit and run, the car left. The day before that, what, a car crash in front of Sam Street. Wow, the day before that, what, Jersey Avenue and Hale Street. Then what, the day before that, what, for French Street and what, between Oxford and Ball. Please, like I said, due to where, what, I don't follow, like I said, the Lord works with me and it was to prove a point to Captain Miller. Like I said, wow, you want to make it that my nephew is driving with no license? How many people do you allow driving in New Brunswick with the license? Due to where, no, New Brunswick Police Department, like I said, stop judging people by the color of your skin and do the law the correct way. New Brunswick will be a better place. When are we going to get attention on this side with all the crime on French Street? Why? Because it's not black? Please, and I'm really going to speak up. I've been here 45 years. And what, to see all of that? Wow. What, to see what, it wasn't even posted that it was warned somebody was stabbed on Seaman Street yesterday? Due to where I'm getting all the alerts from people who I'm scared. A man running around here with a knife. Did New Brunswick Police Department warn anybody over there? No. But like I said, I fault all of you as well, due to where what? Come on, if you got the power to give him a say, come on, get out here and start giving more tickets out there. Get out here and start doing this. But wow, you see more officers, what, on all these construction sites. What, Handy and Remsen Avenue? What, French and Eastern Avenue? What, Somerset and Plum? Come on, how many more officers do you have on construction instead of doing something? You say crime happens everywhere. Sure, you pick up garbage everywhere. While you can pick up 20 tons of garbage in New Brunswick, what, 20 tons of garbage in North Brunswick in 2 months? It's a difference. But crime happens everywhere. But come on, every day in New Brunswick something's happening? That's the difference. Something needs to be done, and like I said, I fault you council members, and especially you, President Ludwig, as well. If you have the power to say anything else to him, come on, you should have the power to tell him to make our city safe, and it's time for you to go.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Moore. First of all, if there's grant money involved, those grants are written through the providing companies, and if it was issued in that manner, and we accepted a grant under those guises, it's not anything that we did that was racially motivated. Hopefully it was a grant that we get to try to help everybody in the community. Grants are written specifically for those types of things. Our officers are out there. There definitely is not a tracking system on your phone through the New Brunswick Police Department. There is an at-length process that is involved with getting such a device put on someone's phone. If you are not being criminally investigated, that cannot happen. There's not going to be an order by a superior court judge to do that through you. Mr. Cradwell, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Council President. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. There was a question I asked at the last meeting that you promised me you were going to get an answer on, and I didn't hear it in your remarks. I stepped out for a bit, maybe I missed it, but I asked when was the last time the police director held a public availability, and you said you were going to get me that answer.
I did not get that answer. I did provide other answers to you. I do not know when the last time he was out in the public at an event. I will find out for you.
Okay, well, I mean, that's astonishing that...
I don't know his schedule. I mean, I don't know that I should be expected to know his schedule either, in all fairness.
Did you not promise me you were going to get the answer?
I said I would, and I just apologized, and I said I will get it for you.
Okay, well, thank you. And yeah, I just think it's kind of a bad sign if it requires significant research to find out the last time the police director had an availability with the public. You know, these days, people put themselves out there, right? There's social media. The New Brunswick Police Department has a page. I can't find any evidence that the police director had any kind of public event since National Night Out 10 months ago. And you may remember that he refused to speak to me at that night. So for me, it's been an even longer time. I tried to track him down. He's on the Parking Authority board. He didn't attend the most recent meeting. So that really is poor. I know you're an elected official and you legally have to have meetings for the public to speak to you, but why doesn't our police department leaders have meetings where the public can speak to them?
That's a question you have to take up with the police department, Mr. Cradwell.
See, so that's the thing. I asked when was the last time the police director had a public availability, and last time your initial answer was you'd have to speak with the director. How can I speak with the director if he doesn't have an availability?
I believe he has an email, if I'm not mistaken, or you can direct any questions through Deputy Director Miller.
Sure. I just think that the man in charge should be public, right? He shouldn't be elusive and secretive. I think, you know, if I look over there, I can see his house, but, you know, I don't see him on the streets. I don't see him talking to the people, and that's wrong. I mean, it just seems like in these meetings you are running interference with the police. You shut down the questions about the police.
I just direct you to the proper channels for the questions, and I don't know that, I mean, as a director of the department, he deals with more of the logistics and administrative end of policing. He is not someone who's supposed to be out on the streets patrolling. That's not his job, that's not his function. I can't, like I said, I don't have his schedule. I will call and ask when the last event was that he was at.
Great.
But that is that, and questions for the police department should be directed to the police department. I'm not running interference for anybody. They have a process of email.
Isn't the police department part of the city of New Brunswick?
Yes,
There's 9
it is.
departments, police is one of them.
Yes.
I see other directors here. Why not Tony Caputo? He hasn't been here for 10, 15,
There is a
20
representative,
years.
there's a representative from the department here if the council needs to speak with them.
Okay, so I did raise the issue last time about the murder. Sadly, Rogelio Lopez was stabbed to death on April the 18th, and police apparently learned pretty quickly who the killer was. They believe it's Adon Santiago Faria, and this was a stabbing, according to the prosecutors, over a fight regarding a stolen phone. A 55-year-old man's life was taken, and it appears that the police were unable to capture the suspect before he left the country. Can you tell us what country this person has fled to?
I don't have that information, but I'm sure if you direct an email to Deputy Director Miller, if he can provide information, it is an ongoing investigation, some of that information, what he can provide to you, he will.
Since he's in the room, through you, Madam Chair, could he respond here?
No, because I'm not going to set that tone. This is a time for you to make public comments. This is not a time for questions. If you would like to email him with your question, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer you if he can.
So now I hope everyone can see why I say you're running interference for the police. He's here, he's in the room, you can ask the question, and you'll intercept the question and shut it down. You'll tell me to email.
Just like I would.
We're all here in a public meeting. A man's life has been lost, a man was killed.
Just like I would for any other question. That's
Well,
the
then you
process.
should not be the president, Madam Chair. Respectfully, this is a place for people to come and get answers to their questions, and you have changed that. That is wrong.
Is there anyone else who'd like to make public comment?
Hi, Brittany Richardson again, Livingston Avenue. I want to say that Miss Christina is my hero. This is one of the wives of one of the drivers that worked down in Department of Public Waste. This lady was in a coma for 6 months. She's only a few years older than me because we weren't important enough down in Department of Public Waste to go get free testing for COVID when it was really high. She was pregnant and she lost her baby. But did Department of Public Works care? Did the director care? Did anybody reach out? No. She was in a coma for 6 months. I have plenty of pictures here of the garbage and the dumps that we pick up even on private property. We have to pick up these dumpsters. Speaking of the murder that happened, that was on my route, both murders. This one was on Friday where we couldn't pick up the garbage because the street was blocked off, the body was still laying in the street. The blood is probably still in the street. So my point is, if we were a few minutes earlier, we probably would have been involved in that. And not to mention the blood was on the garbage, but we don't deserve hazard pay. You guys don't want us to stand up for ourselves. You don't want us to say anything. We're not being paid properly. We're being overworked, and then now we have the snooty attitudes of the directors and the supervisors and things like that because they're trying to figure out why we keep coming down here. My question is, why do we even have to come down here? Please stop telling these people that you have an open investigation because you've done nothing. All you did was hire a lawyer that works for you and come and ask me questions, the same questions that should have been answered the first time when everything was going on. That doesn't make sense. 20 tons of garbage. This is a bag full of needles that we pick up from the streets in the high populated drug areas. We pick up so much garbage, it's ridiculous. Are we essential workers or are we not? What happened to the money from the hurricane relief when we were out there picking up the tree limbs and all that stuff that was flooded out? We picked that up. We didn't get paid for that. What happened to the CARES Act money that came for the COVID relief? We did not get any of that money. Once again, like I spoke earlier, you guys are putting all this stuff in the streets. We don't get paid anything extra for picking up the extra garbage for the extracurricular activities that you have planned for this city. We don't get respect. Anybody can call the city and say, hey, one of the workers threatened me with a gun and they will fire me. They don't look into it. They don't ask because the real problem is they don't care. They want the garbage out. They do not care. I know that Rutgers is paying the city for the off-campus housing for the project move out. Where does that money go? It does not go to us. It does not go to us. Anything involving holidays that people celebrate, if we want to celebrate it at Department of Public Waste, it has to come out of our pocket. It has to come out of our pocket. If you stand up for yourself, that's why a lot of these guys won't come down here, because they know that something comes after that. Something comes after that. Now I have people from my union telling me not to come down here and express how I feel, and I'm going to do it every time. Every time I come here, you don't have any answers. If there were some answers, I wouldn't have to come down here. Everything is, oh, maybe next time, maybe next time, maybe next time. When is going to be the next time? Until the next guy gets hit by a car? Or he loses his job because it hit and run? Or until you send us out there in the middle of a snowstorm, a state of emergency, everybody's home, but we have to work. Oh, I have pictures of that too. I have pictures of when we had to pick up the garbage at the hospital, all the COVID things that were in the tests and all that stuff. Oh, I have pictures of that. I have videos of that here too. When you sent us to the hospital to pick up that garbage, that's what Solterra did not pick up. You guys are paying them extra money. Their back men get $19.50. Their drivers are getting like $26 or $28 an hour. You don't even want me to tell you how much we're getting paid. All of your salaries are public record. We can compare the salaries from where we make, what we make to what you make. And it is nothing compared to the people that we drive past every day. You still haven't even looked into what's going on. You want to brush everything under the rug. You're under a contract. You can't say this and that. We're going to fight it every day, tooth and nail, because we can't afford to live. You want us to come to work? The fuel prices is $5 a gallon. How are we going to get there? All this construction, you're blocking off the streets for us to pick up the garbage. People are getting stabbed. How are we going to pick the garbage up? We have to wait until they pick the body up and then go back out and pick the garbage up with blood on the garbage? Because that's what I was dealing with on Friday. What is the solution? Why isn't there any answers? We don't want trouble. We want to be paid. You're getting paid. I'm pretty sure probably above the table and under it too. Why can't we get paid? What's the problem? We're putting in the work, and we're willing to continue to put in that work. But the equipment is horrible as well too. Pay attention.
Linda Storr, 12 Park Boulevard. I would like to reiterate what Ms. Richardson just said. It's a question of basic respect. And I remember when the tests weren't there for people in New Brunswick. And, you know, I fortunately didn't have to go out and expose myself, but the people that did, and that did our essential jobs, that they wouldn't have been properly compensated, that they haven't been given a raise to at least cover inflation. Because anything less than inflation is, actually they're taking a hit. Plus the bonus like other towns and cities gave for their essential workers that stayed with it through a pandemic. You know, a lot of people were just sitting home, doing nothing, and they were out there every day. It's just a question of, you know, like basic human decency as far as I'm concerned. I also have a question about this Operation Move Out. So Rutgers pays for that? For every house in the city where the students now? Because let me tell you what I noticed is that even when it was a flood, which is a natural disaster, I was told when I tried to schedule a bulk pickup, no, you know, there's this, you have to count the items. You know, never mind your whole basement got flooded. 6 items can go out, and that's scheduling a bulk pickup. I am willing to bet that a lot of the people that are renting out to students now around me are not. They don't even schedule a bulk pickup. They just clean out a whole house and just put it out there like nothing. Yeah, they do. So what? Can we call Rutgers to come and get it? Because it's not fair. It's not right, and it's also not fair to the residents that are limited to what they can ever put out, even if they call specially to arrange a bulk pickup, and they're told that they'll be ticketed if it's more than 6 items. And it's also not fair when they just put it out whenever they feel like it. As somebody who once got a $65 ticket for putting my one little trash can that was half full out a couple hours early because I was going away for the whole day on a Sunday, and I knew I would be getting back late. I said, let me get this trash can out here now. You know, I got a $65 ticket for having that can out there before 5 p.m. on a Sunday. Meanwhile, the houses on either side of me were already being rented out. People were throwing garbage out, not even in a can. They didn't get a ticket. 65. See, it just doesn't seem like there's an equal application of the ordinances and whatever the situation is. And if in fact, I mean, I don't know what the agreement is with Rutgers. How does that work? Do they even know where all their students are living? I mean, how would they even know? Do the homeowners get to see? The thing is, I have a problem with these because these aren't even people that are renting out their own houses anymore. I mean, these are just people coming in and buying up the housing stuff. They can pay a lot of money because they're going to make a lot of money, because you can make a lot of money off students. There's no risk because they sign contracts with the parents, who apparently don't even care. So when the tickets get passed along, when the landlords pass the tickets to the students, you know, well, the parents of the students, I guess they just consider that a cost of having a child in college. I don't know. If I ever found out my kid wasn't picking up their garbage. But, you know, that's just the way it is. And it's not fair because they make a lot of money, so they should, and some of them did it right, I must say, in my neighborhood. I saw some of I don't know this, but they're probably the people that own their own house, and they're not the big, absentee slumlords. They went and got one of those container things, cleaned out the whole house, because you have to pretty much cut the house after a bunch of kids leave, and they filled up the dumpster, and then they, have it hauled away or whatever. And yeah, it costs money, but it should cost money. They make a lot of money off of these kids, so they should have to pay to get it all cleaned up. Well, unless Rutgers wants to pay. Either way.
Next speaker, please. Please just state your name and address for the record.
Harry, 119 Livingston Avenue. I'm an employee for DPW's sanitation. Try to make this short and sweet. I'm a firm believer in God. My father was a pastor. Thank God he was. Ooh. 'Cause I'm heated. Anger. It's a dangerous thing. But you all are a special group of people. You're a special group of people. Thank God that I believe in him. Keep my sanity.
Yes. The time running out, Harry. They don't care about you after that time is up. You gotta speak.
You just don't know. But I lay you all on the altar before the Most High God for swift justice, swift vengeance for your wickedness. I was ran over by a car here on the job on Eastern Avenue last February, a year and something ago. Riding around on broken trucks, broken equipment, things that don't work. And it's you, the people, you're the ones who put in charge, who you put in charge down there. Those people don't belong in charge. Absolutely, you don't either. But you're the reason You're the reason for the problem. They don't belong on the job. They don't belong there. They don't belong in the positions of authority. They don't run things right. They don't care. The trucks are broken. The reason why I got injured, an employee got injured a week before me, and an employee got injured a week after me while we was out there during the time of that blizzard. Is because of wickedness and a lack of care, a lack of empathy, a lack of having a heart. Having a heart, you people. The fire. Thank you, God. Keeping me in my sanity. I haven't always been that way. I haven't always done the right thing. Whew, but, man, we work down there, we do the job, we do a lot of work, we break our backs. I've been in pain since I've been hit by that car. I take meds every day for my hip and my back to do that job, and more is continually added on. I work in a job, and I'll go without saying names, but I work in a job where there's an expectancy of mistreating the workers because you are accustomed to and used to having workers there that are drunks and alcoholic drug addicts that won't stand and fight for anything because they are drunks and drug addicts. You need to get a breathalyzer down there to make them blow in it in the morning before they get in a truck to drive it or before they get on a truck, because lives have been in danger, including mine. I watched accident happen while drinking was being done in a truck at the very present time. A large can of beer was in the hand, and a citizen's car was hit. And that citizen took the blame for that hit, for his car being hit. He took the blame because that employee worked for the city. Why are we in a union that's different from the police and firemen? Why are we on a list of having a more dangerous job than even the policemen, but we're in a different union than them, and our salaries don't commensurate with theirs and what they get paid? Not even close. They make double and triple and quadruple what we make. It's a shame, and it's a shame before God. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You need a revamp down there. You need to get rid of those in charge and replace them with someone else. I hear all the time the man that was there in charge before that ran things a whole lot better, and it was a whole lot smoother. And now it's different now. It's more garbage. It's more people. It's more illegals. There's more people on the street. We're cleaning up all kinds of stuff. And we don't get compensated for it. We get excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm angry. Vitriol. But thank God that I believe and trust in him, because if I didn't,
my name is Joseph Dees. I'm a employee for Public Works. A lot of these things I'm hearing, it's like it goes hand in hand, okay? It's like a domino effect. One thing affects the other thing affects that, this affects this. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. So therefore, all that stuff that fell before is hitting us, okay? There's a show that I like to watch. You've seen Undercover Boss, right? And the gist of this thing, the gist of the show is the boss takes the place of an employee and does the work of the employee. To see what they do, how they do, their job. But they're doing the job as well. I would like to see that. I would like to see that. Because the things that we deal with here, the things that we deal with out there, you guys have no idea. Y'all just want the job done. Y'all just want the job done, which is fine. But compensation is essential, since we are called essential workers. Makes sense to me. I mean, you would want to get paid for a job that you're doing. You would want to get paid for a job you're doing, right? If I say to you, I'm not giving you a paycheck because you didn't go out and pick up garbage, how would you feel about that? You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that. But you want the job done. We're not slaves. Okay? We're not slaves. But at the same time, we want to get compensated. We want to get compensated. We want to be treated as human beings and be compensated for the job and the effort and the push that we do to come here every single day. Every day. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And it's a shame that we get pushed back because this is what we want. It's a crying shame. Nobody should have to worry about their job or somebody coming up to them saying certain things because they were here talking. How are you going to call someone? Oh, get this person in check. Get that person in check. He's down here starting problems. They're down here starting problems. That's not cool. That's a form of retaliation. That's wrong. Especially when we're fighting for our rights. Especially when we're fighting for job security. Especially when we're fighting for what we need. Don't make any sense. None at all. And for people to come after a woman because she's pushing this thing too, I stand behind her. Me too. Straight up. I stand behind her.
Channel 12, it'll be on there. Watch.
I stand behind her. Something got to be done. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. I'm just here to tell her how I feel. It's not cool. Can't afford to live here. $2,500 for a studio? Come on.
Do any other members from the public wish to speak? Seeing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.